To throw on 2nd and 6. Cousins. It's caught. Smith. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
First down, Irv Smith, a partner. It just feels like this is his year because you remember him as a second rounder in 2019, and he had to share the starting job at tight end in his first 2 seasons. After almost 700 yards and 7 touchdowns, the job is truly his here in Minnesota.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. That's the former Buckeye Pete Werner getting the sack.
He only gave them an instant to react. It was a classic case of if you blink, you missed him. Off of the line and to the quarterback in just a couple of seconds. Running back only had a moment to react and attempt to throw a block.
Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Throwing, Cousins. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Cousins. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 24-yard line. 21 yards there on 3rd down.
And partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
Back to the ground, Cook. And a good run as he manages 7 yards down to the 17. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Yeah, he hadn't gotten far enough away from the pocket to throw that football away, and that draws the flag.
Yeah, the old tackle box, right? Get outside of each tackle, and then you can go ahead and throw it away, and you're in good shape. But if you're back there in the pocket, you got to make sure of what you're doing.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Catch is made here by Irv Smith, Jr. Touchdown! Irv Smith, Jr., his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Greg Joseph on for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Rolling to his right. That is hauled in by Michael Thomas. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A nice gain of 21 yards.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short. The Saints are 1-2 through the first 3 weeks of the season. And they got off to the good start, but then 2 straight losses since.
And now you start to wonder about what this does for a team's morale, how it affects their psyche, because, let's face it, you work all summer pointing toward that opening game, you get the win, but then you don't carry it on from there. How will they bounce back from these losses and try and get right?
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3. And it's 2nd down. This defense for the Vikings, they were terrific a week ago in that win over Detroit.
Yeah, what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 25-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Pretty solid opening drive here, Charles. They've worked in the run game, the pass game, just steadily getting yards, and now they've got it inside the red zone here with an opportunity.
And the only thing they don't have so far is points. But the way that they're moving the ball now, that shouldn't take much longer. And they've established a great balance so far. Running, passing, doing what they want on offense.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Now a pitch out to Kamara. He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
But that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. They go play action. Winston sliding out of the pocket to the right side and complete to Thomas. And the Saints are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
That's a big league job there of getting out of the pocket, not panicking, and just buying himself some time. Then he made a good, accurate throw to set up 1st and goal.
Kamara. He is going nowhere in a hurry as he is going to lose yardage here in a big way. Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. Now Winston. This is caught. Touchdown, Saints. Alvin Kamara with career touchdown number 70. And the Saints are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. See, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Play action now. Cousins.
He'll get this complete to Jalen Reagor.
It'll be a gain of 5, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 55 rushing yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Cousins on 1st down. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short. Running the jet sweep. This is Thielen with it. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league, no question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a first down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
Cousins now to throw on 1st down. And this is Cook with a grab.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
And good yardage there on 1st down because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Cousins right back to Cook for another completion. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that could be one of those turning point plays in a ball game. A field goal gets you the lead here, but they want to make a statement and get 6 points. And they're certainly going to get that opportunity as they get the conversion and set up 1st and goal.
They'll run with Cook, and he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Dalvin Cook, his third rushing touchdown on the year, and the Vikings have taken the lead. Joseph now to have the PAT. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
Well, Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
From the red zone now, Winston. Flush to his right. And he's got it. Touchdown. Jarvis Landry. A 14-yard touchdown.
And the Saints are an extra point away from tying the ball game here in the final minute of the first half.
Lutz good on the extra point, and that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a tie ball game here heading to break. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, as they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half.
And we will not see a return to start the half as this will be a touchback. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10
at their own 25-yard line.
He'll give this one to Ingram to start things out.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I tell you, he brings the wood when he comes flying up in run support. He may be a safety, but he hits like a linebacker.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Jameis to throw it. That's out to Hill, right side complete. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Throwing, Winston.
He'll find his tight end. It's Adam Troutman. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. On play action, Winston. They'll roll him out right.
Pass complete. Finds Thomas going across the middle.
And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 20-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Winston to give. It's Kamara.
And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Hasn't had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Well, let's face it, that's just a helpless feeling for a running back there. He's looking up to find a hole, and all he finds is a whole lot of ticked-off linebacker.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. Again, it's Kamara. And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Saint touchdown.
Alvin Kamara
with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year.
And the Saints have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half.
Lots of look to add the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, Charles, you and I said at intermission, feels like we're set up for a good second half. Well, the other side scored, and now it's up to them to answer. How do they respond here with their first drive of the second half?
Well, bottom line is they just saw the ball go in the end zone against their defense, and they saw what good offense looks like. They believe they've got a good offense as well. Run the best plays you've got to the top performers you have, and try to move that ball down the field for an answering score.
And this will be a Vikings first down as he's got this up to about the 34-yard line.
Another top 5 season in rushing for Cook last year. His 3rd straight over 1,100 yards, and his 3rd straight ending with a Pro Bowl selection. This season can see a couple more milestones for him. He will cross 5,000 yards very early and could climb to 3rd on the Vikings' all-time list.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
Well, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes, those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
Good play to get him behind the line there by Blake Martinez.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Winston. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag. Because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll try to run for the first with Ingram. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And the attempt at 3 will have to come from the other end of the field as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to make it a 2-score game. The kick by Lutz is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. A tougher task for them now. That turnover on their last possession led to the field goal, meaning that they have to now try to erase a 2-score deficit here in the 4th. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Meanwhile, Cousins' throw complete there to Smith. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Now Cousins here on the bootleg. He'll buy some time right. This is Smith with a grab. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a one-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
I like how he hung in there and went through his progressions, but eventually his internal clock went off and told him it was time to make a run for it, and he ends up sliding down with a solid gain.
Cousins gives way to Cook, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They go play action. Cousins steps away. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Saints are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here and maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. Ooh, with a juke. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. 52 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. So a little breathing room now. 1st and 10 at the 17. Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Out of the gun, they give to Ingram. And just not a ton of room to work with. He'll get it to the 15 for a gain of 2.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On 3rd down, Winston. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more. That'll go for a gain of 7. And it'll be 4th down. Here comes the Saints punter now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. To throw, Cousins. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a first down.
So pass interference, the call there, always, obviously, Charles, such a subjective call. You agree with the penalty?
Well, from where we're standing right now, I think the officials are tightening things up here in the second half. Maybe a defender gets away with that in the first, but this time the flag comes out, and I think it's a good call.
And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Cousins to throw. On the move to his left. Rager catches it left side. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining.
Dalvin Cook, so good in the open field, but he's equally good down here near the goal line. He can find those seams and just push his way through. So he might get another chance or two to punch this one in.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Cousins. This is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it. It's a wobbler, and it's intercepted. And now off to the races down the right side. Past the 20. And he takes it all the way back. It's a pick 2, if you will, as that play backfires in a big way. So they got one of the 2 touchdowns they needed. Now for the onside kick. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So they got one of the 2 touchdowns they needed. Now for the onside kick. And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical. Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Second down, and it's Kamara again. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. Now a timeout called for by the defense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Winston will kneel down, and that should be your ball game.
And there it is, the standard symbol. Taking a knee means that one team won and the other one obviously lost the ball game. But now that team that won is 2-2. After the first 4 games, I think they're okay with a 2-2 start. Not overly happy, but at the same time, not depressed either.
You mentioned to me breaking down a season in quadrants. So the first quadrant is kind of a check, as you said, for okay. Not great, not bad.
Yeah, right now they're just holding serve. They look forward to their next 4. Maybe they can make a surge there.
So this one a victory here for New Orleans. And we talked so much about the turnover.